Hey, it's Clint, 100 Deadly Skills. Today we're going to talk about social unrest and riots. It actually is covered in 100 Deadly Skills Survival Edition, skill number 82. And when I reference this, it does give you exactly what you need to know. Number one, there are two types of protests. There's peaceful and there's violent. And of course, you may choose to go do one or the other. But ideally, if you're not a protester, you should avoid them altogether. A lot of times these events are scheduled, so make sure you're paying attention to scheduled protests in your area. And then just don't go near there, because even the peaceful ones can sometimes become violent. And the goal really at the end of the day is to remain uninjured and avoid any kind of harm to yourself or your family. So pay attention to schedules in your city. The other piece is understanding the crowd. Okay, these crowds, there's usually the big body that's either static or moving, and you need to avoid the big body. Then there's usually smaller satellite bodies of people, which is probably a little more safe if you find yourself surrounded by a protest. The other piece to avoid is barricades, walls, fences, and then that invisible threshold between the protesters and the cops. Okay, keep in mind, the cops may hit you over the head thinking you're their protester when really you're just someone trying to get through it and get home. So avoid the walls, avoid the fences, avoid barricades, and then avoid the threshold between the protest and law enforcement. The reason you want to avoid all of those hard spots like barricades, walls, and fences is because a lot of times when things get crazy, they become dead ends where you have no place to go and now you're trapped. Or worse, that's how suffocation injuries occur when there's a large number of people pressing through a certain area and you get pressed against a wall, a fence, or a barricade. And even worse, if you fall to the ground, now you're going to get trampled on or stampeded on, and that can cause all kinds of injuries. Some of the tactics are pretty simple. One, awareness. Make sure you don't go near the crowd to begin with. Number two, if you find yourself in the crowd, make your way to the borders of the crowd and then exit stage left or right and get yourself on perpendicular roads to escape all of the rioting and social unrest altogether. A general rule is to get a couple of streets or buildings between you and the social unrest before you consider yourself safe. If you find yourself in a vehicle, don't run over people. It's not going to do any good. Just keep your pace gradual. Let people know, hey, I'm just trying to get home. Use hand signals. Put your hands up. Try and appear to be as peaceful as possible, that you just took a wrong left and you need to get out of there. If you feel like your life is becoming endangered, it's probably better to just put it in reverse or use all drivable terrain in order to slowly get yourself to a perpendicular road and move away from the scene altogether. If you find yourself moving through violent crowds, make sure you have your hands up, right? This is a non-violent posture that'll help you negotiate all those people that are in close proximity. The other thing it's doing is it's protecting your thoracic cavity, right? So that you can prevent getting crushed. You don't want to suffocate in the middle of some violent crowd. Remember, these bodies are usually moving or static. Understand where your outs are. If it's so congested that you can't see your outs, your avenues of escape, get inside. Take time, let that body move by. If you can take high ground, move up a couple of floors in an urban environment, look out a window, now you'll be able to see, all right, the body is moving that way, there's my outs all the way over there. Pick them out, go downstairs, and beeline it straight to your outs. If you have to travel through all of that, once again, keeping your awareness up, hands up, and shuffle through it all. Do not get knocked down and trampled on. Let's talk about some gear that you should have on you. Bear spray does not require a concealed carry permit. It's all natural, high potent mace, and it sprays out to 30 feet. A mouthpiece. Mouthpieces are shock absorbers for the brain. The last thing you want to do is get knocked out or lose some teeth. A mini fire extinguisher. You can buy these anywhere. They're usually designed for vehicles, but you can carry it in your bag. And we all know that the Molotov cocktail is the hooligan's choice during protests and rioting. So just in case you or someone you know or a complete stranger is caught on fire, you can put them out. A hoodie and a mask. When in doubt, blend in. Just remember, the cops may not like your new outfit, but at least all of the angry people around you will just think you're one of them so that you can escape quietly. Running shoes. That's right. Flip-flops, high heels aren't going to cut it. Make sure you've got something on your feet that you can run and fight in, because your feet in those types of situations become the most important tool you've got. If you want to learn more about social unrest and riots and how to survive, check out 100 Deadly Skills Survival Edition, and it will give you more than what you need on surviving all forms of crisis that we could potentially face these days. Until then, be the exception.